I was trying to like launch the prank for April Fool's, and then everyone goes, "That is not true. There's no kangaroos."
Well,
like
I'll get to it because I ended up mansplaining. And I try not to, but I know I do sometimes. But not to just women, to everyone. But we'll talk. Hi,
You
by
did
the
have
way.
to explain that
Welcome
what
to the
April
Todd
Fool's was.
Yeah, we'll get
Okay,
to that.
okay.
I just think that Mountain Cam brought to you by.
Brio Technologies, your experts in lighting, sound, and video. By the way, if you want to bring your business into this, this actual century, you can go to brioaudiovisual.com.
What's the date today? In case you're watching on demand, it's the 2nd
April
of
2nd.
April. Yesterday was April Fool's, and Easter at the same time. Hope your Easter went well.
It was a weird Easter timing, but anyway,
So
go on.
I kind of just eased my way into April Fool's, and I saw this great post, and it was Wyoming wildlife officers releasing a kangaroo.
That is so
Into this
beautiful.
open field, this wildlife place, and it says the first 50 kangaroos have been launched and released in Wyoming and stuff like that, and it's
Launched. That sounds ominous.
looks all professional and all this stuff, and so I'm thinking this will be funny, and then the first response on this post was, "Nice try, April Fools," and I'm like, delete. And the next one is like, "I had me going there, April Fools," delete. And I'm like,
give it some
don't
time.
you people know how to do this? And it's like, no, they didn't do that. I looked it up. April Fools. Delete. And I'm sitting there. I deleted like 15 people until someone came up.
Really?
And they said, "I understand this is a problem." But they were being serious. They weren't.
See, I'm the sucker. I'd be like, really? You're telling me? I mean, that would be me.
So I got on there and I said, okay, here's how you do it. I post a picture of wildlife people releasing kangaroos into Wyoming.
And you go, wow.
Yeah, and you go, "I've heard about this. Wow, thanks for informing me. They have trouble with this," and this is the best one I got. "I understand there's a problem with this in Hawaii as well." And they go, and then people started generating
That's awesome.
all this stuff, and they were like, Pennsylvania is really having some crop problems now. And
That's what you're waiting for. It's like, feed the story. Let's
Yeah.
get this going more, not April Fools.
so all these 10 or 15 of them, and all of a sudden the idiot jumps in, and it's hilarious. So anyway, I didn't mean to be splaining.
You were
to
just
ya.
kind of getting pissy, though. I mean, you were just sitting there with your
was
hands on
like-
our hips like, oh, for heaven's sake.
It's like watching a magic show and go, "I see the wire," right off the bat. You're like, "I see a wire."
Joy.
Yeah, the red ball's in your hand. You misdirected and put it in your pocket. That cane is a thing that retracts. That's what this is about. That's a real dove, but it came out of your pants. And you're like, what's wrong with you? Other than that, it was a great time. And
It was a really nice Easter. I think this is the first time that we've had people over at the house because I always get so excited when everyone
Why?
comes over, and it's so much fun.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
it was like the first time where literally by night I'm like, you have to go home now. I'm really tired.
it's a long
You have to go
weekend for
home.
us. But taking it over from your mom so she gets to rest.
Yeah,
a
and then
little
she,
more.
of course, overcompensated by like cooking everything and bringing it up anyway, which is
I
always
said,
like,
"Get out of my kitchen," which is the name of my new cooking show, by the way. Get out of my kitchen. And then it's like, "Get back in my kitchen and wash the dishes." But I turn around and she's washing the dishes.
oh, and then she used the immortal excuse. Well, yeah, but the hot water's really good on the arthritis on my hands. It's like, wow, Mom, that's low.
Then you're like,
that's like dark.
April Fools or no or yes?
No, Mom has no morals. You know that she'll say anything to end up cleaning up. You still have glitter all over you, by the way. It's on your neck.
There is no
Yeah.
freaking holiday now that does not have glitter. Arbor Day, glitter. President's Day, glitter.
Oh, there's some on your face too. I didn't see that.
You've got to shine right there, so don't. And then Erin brings it. Oh, my life is horrible. Erin brings these big giant eggs like this, and they're covered in glitter, the really fine stuff. And I pick
Micro
it up,
glitter.
and I pick it up and go, "Oh, that's really cool." And I set it down. Glitter boy. I look like a drag queen.
They were $1 at Smith's. I had to get them, and then I stuck Zoe and Zaki's big present in them, and then it got everywhere. As a matter of fact, my sister texted me when she came home with a picture of her
Oh.
angry face and said, "I'm sorry I let you hug me now."
Yeah. See? So now what we have is a trail up to the front door of green from St. Patrick's Day, now mixed with gold and silver from Easter.
See what
Oh,
comes
and
up
there's
next.
other stuff that
Mother's Day's next, right?
Yeah, other stuff fell off the Christmas decorations, so we have that glitter in the corners and hidden, even though you vacuum. And then your clothes, then they go in the washer, and the washer actually transfers it to other clothes. There's not one time in our house I can't look at our children and go, oh no.
Okay, this isn't
got a
like the
piece right
Ebola
here.
virus. You can live with a tiny speck of glitter or two on you.
But sometimes I just don't feel glittery.
Some days you're just not sparkling.
I'm not sparkling like My Little
I'm
Pony.
sorry, honey.
I know.
Oh, the Little Caesars. It's now 3 minutes after 12, and the reason I'm telling you about this is they're making good on that bet they did on Twitter, which was really
you're all
ill-advised.
over the place today.
Now,
Yes.
do you remember we were talking about that because Sweet 16 this year, March Madness was nuts. I mean, you and I were in New Orleans when literally it was like every possible turnover, any kind of shocking finish happened, and so basically theirs was you get a free Little Caesars lunch combo.
It's
if
on.
16 beats number one, which of course
Today.
they did. So that's today until 1 o'clock today. You can go into any Little Caesars here and you can pick up a free lunch combo. That's pizza and a drink.
How long will the line be?
Up by the U, it's going to be
The
ridiculous.
Jazz used to do it with fries or something. With
Yeah, but this is like a lunch combo.
the line is going to be nuts.
Who cares? It's pizza and a drink, man.
I want to go back to the Batmobile. We were out this weekend at Magic
That
Wash.
was so fun.
Not just a wash. It's Magic Wash. Batmobile was there. Check this out. There's a cool story behind this too.
Okay.
So the Batmobile is at the Magic Wash. There it is. Look. Don't do it.
Going. I know.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
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 That was scary. Okay. I mean, I really did like it. James,
It's
the
a good
owner,
one.
is like this total chemical nerd. He's always screwing around with those polymers.
Look at this. And this is the
This is the original one from the Michael Keaton Batman. As a matter of fact, they had actually
Machine guns.
Nice. They had made 5 of these that they used during filming because things were getting banged up, and then they sent the 5 out as promotional videos, vehicles. Apparently, David Copperfield, the magician,
Right.
had paid $1 million for one of them, and he was all excited. And they said, "Oh, that was actually the one that didn't really appear in the movie," and so they sued them. He was not happy about his.
He wanted the real one, huh?
Was that all the video? I thought there would be
No,
more.
that's fine. That's enough.
Okay.
Trust me, that's enough.
All right, that's fine.
I'm still suffering from my cold, but I will eject myself from the show if I start coughing again, and I will do that because I know it's really irritating to listen to.
I feel a little sad. I'm not complaining because that would be wrong, but it's like I really thought that the Chinese space station thing would be cooler. Because remember, we had talked about that all last week, and there were some issues with trajectory, and they were going, okay, we think it's going to hit somewhere around Lower Michigan.
And only 20 to 40% of it would would come through the atmosphere. So we were expecting something
But
big.
that's still a lot.
Poisonous, too, really poisonous stuff.
They said there was debris from the 18,000-pound spacecraft. I guess that's what was left of it. And it went through the Pacific Ocean.
So it went to it?
Yeah, South Pacific between
was it?
California and Hawaii, out in the middle of nowhere, which is exactly where we hoped it would land. That was the
Not
aerospace
me.
port.
I wanted a cornfield in Iowa.
I know. I was kind of all excited,
There's your
though.
movie. There's your movie.
Right?
Space bacteria. See?
And then it gets in the corn.
Right.
But the genetically modified
Right.
corn. And then, of course,
the people
space
eat the
bacteria
corn.
gets it.
And they get it between their teeth.
And then they all become crazy.
See? Just like people.
That would have been a
in Iowa.
great movie premise.
I was hoping for it. I really
There's
was.
nothing we can do when it just lands in the water. It's like the future, like, big deal. Like, this hasn't happened before.
How
right.
how did this happen? The Salt Lake International Airport. They got a 16-year-old kind of showed up on the tarmac.
Well, it was interesting. 2 teenagers, they got pulled over at Salt Lake International for a traffic violation. 16-year-old passenger got out of the car the way the police told him to, but the driver took off in the car. Finally managed to track it down. It had been stolen, but the 16-year-old had run off by then. He had breached airport security, and they found him hiding in a wheel well of a SkyWest airplane. Now, a mechanic apparently found him then. And so the main problem here, number one, is we're all fairly concerned with flight security based on terroristic threats, right? So
right.
How did this plucky little 16-year-old with his can-do American spirit actually get through all of the security barriers of the airport and end up hiding in a wheel well of a jet?
I can't even bring on 4 ounces of liquid.
I know.
So he jumps a
I had to
fence.
throw away my eye drops once. I mean, yeah.
Remember all the stories? You were just covered in glitter. Remember all the stories about people hiding away, stowing away in baggage areas and stuff like that? This was before security was so tight. And then freezing to death?
Yes.
Because it is stinking cold up there. And if they go in a wheel well, one of them was the front one. And he got up in there and the thing came up and the door shut. There's no help for you at 30, 40,000 feet. You freeze. It is cold.
I'm assuming it was quick because it was that cold. But
Not a
yeah,
good
but so I'm
idea.
trying to figure out how he got around in there so easily. Stolen car, 16-year-old, and he breached every security line. And the airport police are like, well, we're not sure how that happened, but we're sure.
Once again, another
Isolated incident.
Once again, another great movie plot, except for
The
he
death.
got caught.
Yeah. But then the freezing to death part's not a really great movie ending
Not
either. So
not
it's
a
kind of
good
like,
upper kind
you
of
know,
thing.
yeah.
Information time.
Do you think so? Oh, yeah, because we've already hit Little Caesars.
Uh-huh.
So let's go to Daisy. She's in the Get Part Daily newsroom. She is brought to you by Always Black Friday, 30 to 75% off every day, 12th Street in Ogden. Also by Utah Credit Approval. All bad things can happen to good people, but you can still get a reliable automobile, often within the same day, with UtahCreditApproval.com and All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Good time to check out your air conditioner at AllUtahPlumbing.com. All right, my darling Daisy, what is going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news on Monday, April 2nd on GetPartDaily.com. A second person has been booked in connection with the case of two murdered Eureka teens whose bodies were found dumped in an abandoned mine in Utah County. Morgan Henderson, 34, the live-in girlfriend of murder suspect Jared William Baum, has been booked into the Utah County Jail on one count of obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony. Authorities say Henderson denied to detectives that she had seen or spoken to Breezy Otteson or Riley Powell after they were last seen on December 30th, 2017. They say it was until she was arrested on unrelated charges that Henderson told investigators she was with Baum when he killed Otteson and Powell and pushed their bodies into the abandoned Tintic Standard No. 2 mine in Utah County. A South Jordan man is in critical condition after falling nearly 75 feet while out on a dirt bike ride Friday afternoon. Matthew Ballard was with a friend in Eagle Mountain when his bike hit a rock and sent him flying about 75 feet to a rock quarry below. Ballard's been hospitalized in critical condition. A GoFundMe page has been established to help the family. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints announced Sunday that 7 new temples will be built worldwide, including one in Layton. The announcement was made by President Russell M. Nelson. The other 6 locations will be Salta, Argentina, Bengaluru, India, Managua, Nicaragua, Cayenne de Oro in the Philippines, Richmond, Virginia, and a major city in Russia that has yet to be determined. Time now for a look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by our wonderful sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's most amazing audio-visual specialists, and also by Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and Layton. After a glorious Easter weekend, we'll see rain and cooler temperatures Monday as a storm front makes its way across northern Utah. It should move out by late afternoon, bringing a little sunshine with highs in the upper 50s. We dry out Tuesday and Wednesday with temps in the 60s. Overnight lows this week will be in the 30s and 40s. Next chance for precipitation towards the end of the week. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GetPartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
All right, so welcome back. Thank you, Daisy. First of all, tell them about Nothing Bun Cakes.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm going to be there this Saturday, April 7th. It's the 10th anniversary of Nothing Bundt Cakes. I love April. I mean, do you realize that
Those
we've
are
now been...
buntinis.
We have been her
The
cream
little
cheese
ones.
frosting zombie slaves now for 10 years. Can you believe it? And these are so gloriously good. If you haven't had a chance to eat one of these yet, you've got to come for the grand opening because no matter what else, there will be cake. There will be cake. There's also tons of prizes. The first 50 people in line who get a purchase also get a free buntlet a month for a year.
Wow.
It's buy one, get one free buntlet all day long. Balloons for the kids, all kinds of fun stuff, 25% off all the retail, like her really cute cake plates and stands and such. And I'll be there with tons of goodies as well. But, oh man, there's nothing better than Nothing Bundt Cakes.
All right,
And the fact that there will be much of the cake Best thing ever. 10384 South State Street in Sandy, right across from South Elmo.
Time for Tell Me Something Good.
This is a good one. This is really good.
What do you
Okay. Well, these are 3 kids. Devontae Kafke, Sammy Farah, and Sean Young. They're all 13.
They're all 30. Okay.
They go, they're kind of walking along, coming home from high school.
Why do you make them sound like dopiness?
No, because I just
We're
like,
kinda walking along,
no, I
going
just like
home.
teenage boys.
Okay.
I just like them. They're so cute. 'Cause-
Awkward and clumsy.
Yeah, like our boys, awkward and clumsy and sweet. So here's the deal. So all of a sudden, Sean screams, "Get over here, I need your help." And he races off in a different direction. Now, they're crossing over a motorway bridge, which is extraordinarily high over the roadway. Extraordinarily high. It's that one, as a matter of
That'll do it
fact.
to you.
So what they found out is this man was sitting on the edge and he was preparing to jump into oncoming traffic. So if the height didn't get him, then the traffic. And so little skinny Sean's grabbing him around his waist and saying, "No, dude, you cannot do this.
Right.
You
Change
can't."
your mind. Change your mind.
And they held on, and all 3 boys got their arms around him, and he was kind of trying to struggle.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
And they're like, "No, you cannot do this." And so they kept talking to him and asking him about his kids and what he did for a living, and
To
did
break
he have
his-
family?
to
and,
break his thumb.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm amazed that at 13 years old, number one, you'd be holding onto a suicidal man, and you would have the presence of mind to try to.
Right.
And they didn't do platitudes. They just said, we just asked about his life and what he liked to do and his favorite things. And at one point, they said our arms were shaking really bad, and we said, "What's your favorite food?" And he actually stopped pulling against us for a minute. I love these kids. And so finally, I guess they passed out. He had been taking some drugs too, I guess, to help
Sure.
and they said he was getting really heavy, and it was right then this guy came by. Unfortunately, they were able to,
Get him
he was able
over.
to help them, and he had a phone, so he was able to call for help.
Gosh.
But so they're getting an award, which is it's extraordinarily awesome. They're now the heroes at their school. They go to St. Mary's High School, just so you know, and they picked up the Broxburn Youth Awards for their bravery.
There you go.
I thought that was so cute. But I just love not this attempted suicide part, but the fact that they saved this man and they had that
The
kind of
gang saved him.
presence of mind to do that. And of course, it is now like 3 months later, and they've had a chance to meet with him again, and he thanked them, and he said,
There you go.
"Thank you for what you did and helping me remember."
Right.
But it's just wonderful to me. And 13 years old, and those little skinny arms.
All right.
So that's such a
Tell
cool-
Me Something Good is
that
brought
is
to
an
you
awesome
by
Tell Me Something
Always
Good.
Black Friday. I just saw the April Fool's thing from Walmart.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's on my screen right now.
Okay.
Earthworm jerky.
The
How many people are ordering that right now?
sad part is I'm sure that they actually would be getting some of
Right?
those. Ugh, okay.
That looks awesome.
Coming up next, we have Christopher's. What am I saying?
Oh, Christopher's, once again, another happy winner on Friday. Here
She was adorable. She came by the car wash to talk about it, and I'm like, I'm very happy for you. It sounded delicious.
Right.
I'm so glad you enjoyed
So
yourself.
It's a whole nother week, so it's time to drop in a little message right now as you're watching. Just mention something about Christopher's and the fact that you're not going to take us to dinner. And that's all
fine.
you need to do.
We expect it. Now, you can enter on the Get Part Daily or Get Part Approved Facebook pages if you like, or you can enter on the Todd and Erin page and join in the conversation. And, of course, it doesn't matter when you're watching this. You can still enter because we still draw a winner every single Friday. So there you go. It's simple. Oh, and by the way, really quickly, Jill Branch Shipley said that the line was not long at the Little Caesars she went to for her free lunch special. So she said it went really quick, so go for
This is
it.
for everybody, right?
Free till
your
1
kids
o'clock.
and your everyone.
Free till 1 o'clock,
That
baby.
is so cool. Coming up next, did you ever lose your bathing suit going down a water slide? These people don't care. I'll tell you what that means coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by UtahCreditApproval.com. Bad things happen to good people, but you can get your credit back on track and get a reliable automobile by giving them a call. 801-404-7201. And also by Columbus Travel with spectacular deals on cruises and all-inclusive vacations. Go to ColumbusVacations.com. And All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where they have a winter special that they can check out your furnace and make sure that it's operating efficiently, saving you hundreds of dollars in energy bills. Just go to AllUtahPlumbing.com. Did you know that you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and GetPartDaily.com any time of the day or night?
All right, welcome back to the Todd and Erin Noontime whatchamacallit.
We got to come up with something.
We really have to come up with a name.
I know.
I'm going to tell you there's a job opening, you know. People are starting to advertise summer jobs already.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Lagoon, I saw a sign for them and stuff online. People just looking for, people to help out.
Seasonal work, sure.
In Rhode Island, there's a group and they're looking for a lifeguard. Now you got to be certified.
Oh, that's nice.
CPR and all the regular stuff. And it's a nudist camp.
Oh, yeah, it sure is.
Now,
okay.
Is it
sure is.
Is nudist camp or naturalist? They're naturalists.
It can be either or, but the point is
Right.
you're not wearing any clothes. And I would just like to point out that when you go to one of these places or you go to a new beach when you're in Europe, because pretty much all of them are, it's never the people you want to see naked. Ever.
It's like your principal.
Remember we had to go by that one in St. John's? And it's like, they're all your high school principal. It's nobody you would ever really want to see without clothing on.
And there was like a group of people sitting there talking, but there was some palm fronds, right? Palm fronds. Landing on the ground, they kind of piled up a little bit, and they're just talking away, and all of a sudden everybody stood up, and it's like, it wasn't like, oh, no, it was like,
And I'm not judging because it's
not
not like
judging.
I want to be. I don't
Right.
want to be on the
Yeah.
nude beach and have you have to either
Yeah.
look at me because that would be awful. But no, so I guess this could be a dream job in many people's
and you
eyes.
don't have to wear a suit if you don't want to.
You don't even get the cool red Baywatch suit.
And the guy said, one of the owners of this place, it's the Dyer Woods nudist campground. He says
Dyer
it's
Woods.
just like every other camp, nudist or non-nudist. And I thought to myself, no, that's not true.
His exact phrase is, "It's a family campground.
Yeah.
And people just show up to relax."
But they don't share bicycles. Guarantee that. We're going on a bike ride. No, I got my own. I'm okay.
Don't
here.
sit on the lounge chairs either.
The picnic benches have splinters. So anyway, if you're looking for a gig, I would imagine you
I have
have
a
to be
vision now that
18
is
or
really,
older because of this. And you just pray that especially everyone stays in the deep end. None of that walking out into the shallow
Please
end.
don't make me save you.
Don't do
please,
that.
please don't make me save you.
then
Don't
there-
make me hover over you, giving you mouth to mouth.
And
Please
there's
don't
the
make me do
whole
that.
issue of lathering up with sunscreen everywhere.
Yeah, that too. See,
Joan, can you get my back?
being naked
All of
seems, being nude seems like it would be such an easy thing, but
Right.
really there's like a whole list of new complications.
There really are.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
All right.
All right, true
Hot
love.
beverages would be an issue too, in bacon making.
Yeah.
Cooking bacon on a stove. That's what I wanted to say.
The path of true love is never smooth, but apparently in China, it is even rockier than we could have imagined.
Why is that?
Well, okay, China, number one, they've had those very strict population laws, and so girl babies are not as treasured as boys.
Which is horrible.
And so they're entering into what it was a very logical social conclusion of you have many less women than you do men. As a matter of fact, they have one of the most disproportionate populations in the world of men versus women. That would be obvious, you would think, but you would be wrong because of cultural, sensitivities there.
Right.
Well, God bless this boy. He's 18 years old and he's never had a girlfriend. As a matter of fact, he hasn't really even had a chance to date. This is
He's
a lot
Chinese.
like
He lives in Chinese.
this is a lot like your college, Unity College. Tell me about the population rate again.
It was 350 students, private school, basically wildlife management and forestry, and train you to be a park ranger and work for the state, stuff like that. There was 12 women.
How did you even get a girlfriend out with that kind of population density? And I'm telling you, I love you and I think you're hot, but I'm still kind of amazed. Because,
I think we all know.
all right. Well, in any case, this guy does not have your mad skills. So what he's gone to do is he's applied for the all-women's university in Beijing.
Wait a
It
minute,
is
you
this
can't-
beautiful
how do you do
building. You can
what?
see the pretty female graduates there standing there as they're getting their picture taken.
Isn't there rules?
He is not able to deal with these odds, and he said the only way I'm going to get a girlfriend is if I apply to a women's college. And so he actually went through the whole application procedure. He was quite clear about it. And he says, if I can study here, there won't be a problem finding a companion. Now, here's the interesting thing.
That's so sweet, actually.
I thought so too. Here's the interesting thing about it, though. They do apparently accept 1 or 2 male students per year. I'm not sure if it's because they have a sense of humor or they have a really compelling argument. And this is hysterical.
Oh, that's so funny.
Now, this is my personal favorite part, though. He was literally surrounded by all these women. It's like a dream come true as he's going through his oral interview.
And he's a nice guy. Let's say he's just a really nice guy.
He's a sweetheart. You see,
perfect, right?
And he's just, I got this earnest face, and he's wearing his glasses. And they said, "What is your only, hesitation?" He says, "Well, my family isn't sure about this." I said, "My dad is afraid I won't be as masculine if I'm surrounded by women." And they went, "Well, and family's important there." And they said, "How do you feel about that?" And he went, "I don't care."
Dad doesn't know what he's talking about.
So fingers crossed, man, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so there for you. I'm hoping you make it. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever.
So why do you doubt my ability to get a girlfriend?
I do not doubt at all, because I know how gorgeous and fascinating and alluring you are, even to this day.
But you started off by saying, I know that
you are gorgeousness in of itself, and I know that. Everyone knows that. But the point is,
gorgeous.
There's still 350 men and 12 women. So statistically, I would think there would be
What's
some
one of the number one
negotiation effort.
No, what's the number one thing that women like about men? The number one thing, one or two?
Your butt.
No, it's being funny.
No, I totally married you for your butt. If I need funny, I can call a girlfriend. I married you because you were hot.
Well, that's worn off. All right, so let's no, it's a little too late to make up for it now.
Okay, fine. Let's talk about something happy.
Salt Lake City, renewology. Renewology.
Isn't that cool?
Renewology. I don't know.
The head, and by the way, the CEO is a woman, which is another reason I like this.
So basically what they've done is light plastics, like plastic bags and juice containers and all this stuff, as you see now, and bottled drinks and stuff.
Gigantic chunks of
No one wants to put this in their landfill because it just fills it up, and it's never going to do anything. It's going to stay in this form. China actually stopped producing it. I'm not producing it, but using it. And they're not going to do anything with it, and they banned it. So they're actually exporting to other locations. Well, a very smart woman here in Salt Lake City has started her company, and basically they take it and they put it in they put it in a no oxygen environment, and they break it back down to its building blocks of what makes it plastic.
So it's the basic chemical composition. And what do they do then?
They have a bunch of blocks, which then can break down because it's gone back to its original stuff. And the cool thing is, they're already importing it from Canada.
Wow.
People are sitting back right now, all these companies and stuff that have been hoarding plastic materials because there was no breakthrough.
Yeah,
but
there's
they're
nowhere else to do.
Not going to give it away.
Something good might happen. I don't know.
Right. And that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's sitting on the edge of their seats going, it's going to happen because
that's just amazing.
No one wants to put it in. And you can burn it. They break it down so you can actually burn it without
the harmful vapors. Yeah.
Right.
That's amazing to me.
You are so covered in glitter. I'm sorry.
Happy Easter.
So anyway, that's pretty cool.
The Easter Bunny by now must just look like a Las Vegas attraction. I mean, just glittering like you. I know. All right. So when we're talking about interesting emotional problems abroad, let's just go to Japan now, shall we?
I don't understand this story.
They're trying to induce their own baby boom. Now, they have a rapidly aging population, declining birth rate. It's been a problem for well over 50 years now. Mm-hmm. Well over 50 years. Several attempts by the government to try and alleviate the issue.
How so?
Not really a lot of success. So there's one upcoming strategy that might finally prove successful. It's from the Japanese government's Accelerated Family Bureau.
What's that?
Yes, they actually have a government bureau designed to encourage you to breed. Yes.
Soft music, candles.
They've just announced that starting later this year, they're beginning to issue breeding visas to residents of foreign countries.
Excuse me?
The visas will allow certain eligible foreign travelers to enter Japan like any other current visa.
Right.
And according to the plans put together by the Accelerated Family Bureau,
right,
breeding visas will be offered similarly to tourist, work, and family visas.
I have a question.
However, their breeding visas will have their processing expedited, typically available after one business day, and applicants receive reimbursement on all travel expenses incurred of flying into Japan. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about men going to Japan.
Or women.
Or women. for a weekend, or are they going to go and they're going to find a relationship, get married, have kids? I mean, that's obviously what
They have breeding visas with stays of durations of 1 week, 1 month, and a special 1 day, 1 night
What the
stand.
hell?
One night stand version that comes with extra bonuses that they are unwilling to explain at this time. Now, holders of the breeding visas will be required to produce evidence of at least one pregnancy that they helped induce, or either in themselves.
They bring
or,
a baby with them. Look.
Picture of them pregnant. And if they lie about being fertile, they have to pay a fine of $50,000 in
So there is a
American money.
test. There is a test.
Wow.
That doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
A breeding visa. Hey, what are you here for? I would imagine there should be romance and a relationship and junk. And that's just me. All right, so coming up, we should talk about Mike's, the magic wash that we were at this weekend.
Okay.
You want to talk about that?
I think we should.
All right,
Because
so
they were awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, they have a great deal. There's 2 locations now. We were at the Layton one.
Yeah, it was just barely open. They also have South Dogton that's been running now for a while. James is the owner, and he's so
They're
much fun.
amazing.
They had put the Batmobile through the car wash, which I thought was relatively terrifying, but it came out ridiculously shiny. As a matter of fact, I had my car done too. I did video because it was that exciting.
Now the cool thing about it is there's a polymer, there's a ceramic mix of stuff that'll keep your car cleaner because the dirt doesn't stick to
It
it.
sheets off. Yeah, you should. Did you see my car? Because it's rained twice. It looks amazing. I was
does.
very excited. So here's the deal. You can actually do like monthly passes where you can basically get it washed as much as you want. And it's ridiculously cheap. And they also have young, healthy teenagers there that can do all the actual work for you, like vacuuming if you don't really feel like putting in the effort. And it really is, price-wise, one of the best things I've seen. But it was so much fun to go through.
All right,
and
so
if you can entertain your children
love
and
car
get a car
washes.
wash, why not?
I used to take the kids through just to make them quiet.
Well, it is. It's like entertainment.
Look, kids, the car's being sprayed by foam. Coming up
And it's
next,
cheaper than Disneyland. So
check on Hollywood. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. This is a side I don't think anybody has ever seen, and that's coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink & McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink & McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
Welcome back. It is the Todd and Erin Nooner. And it's Hollywood Connection is brought to you by our friends over at Connect Heating and Air. If you go to Utah Heating and Cooling, by the way, 24/7 emergency service, and they have these epic maintenance schedules. If you have commercial properties, you never have to worry about anything again. By the way, the breeding visa story,
Yes. What?
the last line that I never read to you is, have a happy April Fool's.
Oh, that's my fault.
And you totally bought it.
I did. I didn't read the entire thing, and I was so aghast. I thought it would be funny, and I didn't know it was April Fool's. Got me. Ha ha.
You know, it's sad because I come from a family of ridiculously fertile women. I was thinking about how much money I could make if I wasn't madly in love with you and
What's up
had
with this?
children and was
What's
married.
up with all this?
Well, just think.
What?
You
get a free...
You're ridiculously fertile. This could have been like a side income.
I don't think we need to talk about this anymore.
All right, let's talk about something more serious. Dwayne Johnson, now, he is, they say, the most bankable star in Hollywood. Number one. Number
Why?
two.
Explain that.
That means basically the value that you get for what you pay for him for his like $12 million
Bang for the buck.
fee or whatever is, you get that much more return from the movie. And he's known as like the franchise saver. Like, for instance, Fast and Furious.
Right.
It was starting to flag him when he came in. It was like kaboom. Jumanji, the latest movie he did, was #1 at the box office for like 18 billion years. And the thing is, we've interviewed him. He is one of the sweetest
Yes.
and nicest men you've
He
ever
is.
met. He talked
Yes.
about his little girl and how happy he was to have children. And as a matter of fact, his girlfriend's was pregnant with their second daughter. But
So we all kind of think we know his demeanor, right?
yeah,
We
he's
all
happy,
think,
he's sweet.
now
and-
this actually could go horribly wrong right now. We could say he was violent, or look what he was a pretend wrestler, because that's kind of what I think it is. But he opened up and he started talking about
Well, he was
what his life has been like.
He was the child of a single mom,
Right.
and they struggled terribly with poverty. And when he was 15 years old, his mom, Ada, attempted suicide.
Right.
Now, here's the deal. She got out of the car in Interstate 65 in Nashville and tried to walk into oncoming traffic. He said big rigs of cars were swirling out of the way, and I grabbed her and I was trying to pull her back onto the gravel shoulder of the road. Now, he says that his mom, to this day, doesn't remember any of it.
Right.
Because he says maybe that's for the best. But he said, there was times when I was at my worst point where I was crying constantly, and he said I started to
From
have
depression.
those thoughts.
Well, yeah.
But he said the battle of depression, he says, is that people tend to suffer a great deal in silence. And he said ever since his mom's experience and his, they have tried to look for people. They've made it a practice to look for people who might be in that state and make sure that they reach out and let them know you're not alone, that this has happened to other people, it's happened to us. And he said, for a long time, I was ashamed, thinking it made me a weaker man. And now
Right.
I realize that getting through this actually makes me a stronger person. And more importantly, gives me a responsibility to help other people. And I just thought that was such a beautiful
reminds
thing.
me of Terry Bradshaw, I think that's his name, football analyst. He sits on NFL games, and he's one of the guys, the bald guy. And he had horrific depression and all this stuff. And he came out with it, but it was after he lost his wife. His wife left him because they thought he was crazy. And all these things happened. He made huge bad decisions for money, jobs, all these different things. And he
Depression can do this to
And
you.
he came out and he finally said, I got help, I got medication, and it saved his life. And he was like, I still lost my marriage. He lost his marriage because it wasn't who he was. And I thought that was incredibly tragic. But this is just another person who's come out, and that was years ago. This is another person coming out that'll let people understand that this is an illness and there's things you can do about it.
I think that's amazing.
And it's not essential oils. No offense. But there's actual medications that people have and doctors give, and things get better. Just a thought.
All right, let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to Fink-McGregor, by the way, I know that interest rates have been going kind of wonky and everyone's had its questions. Within 4 minutes, they can spat out a whole bunch of different mortgage options for you. And if you're ready, they'll have someone call you within the next business day. It doesn't have to cost a ton of money. Also, the Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can get a consultation space reserved for you. I go to the Riverton location. They can actually get rid of your varicose veins now. Your legs can actually look, instead of 20 years older, your actual age, and it's not painful, and you see the results like in days. And also by Always Black Friday, it's 30 to 75% off every day, 12th Street in Ogden. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making national and world headlines on Monday, April 2nd on Gephardt Daily. Tiangong-1, China's out-of-control space station, fell back to Earth Monday, splashing harmlessly into the middle of the South Pacific. China's Manned Space Engineering Office said the space lab mostly burned up in the atmosphere before it hit the waves off the coast of Tahiti. For days, astronomers had been unsure where the decommissioned space station would fall. China lost control of the wayward space vessel back in 2015. And North Korean media on Monday reported that regime leader Kim Jong-un thoroughly enjoyed the performance of K-pop, South Korea's biggest pop acts, staged in the capital of Pyongyang. The state-run Korean Central News Agency said Sunday the concert was held as part of the new efforts to improve cross-border relations ahead of the two Koreas summit later this month. The agency quoted Kim as expressing his gratitude for the 160-member South Korean art troupe who had little time to prepare for the concert, which was scheduled on very short notice. And police in Florida pulled an 11-foot alligator out of a swimming pool after it decided to take a late-night swim. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office documented the encounter on Twitter after deputies found the large gator chilling in the deep end of the pool Saturday night. The sheriff's office didn't specify what happened to the gator after it was captured, but state wildlife officials consider gators found in populated areas nuisance if they are longer than 4 feet. We understand plans for a neighborhood skinny dip have been postponed. And time now for your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by our distinguished sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's top audio-visual specialists, and also by our brand new friends at Magic Wash, home of the ceramic car wash with outlets in Layton and South Ogden. We'll see rain and cooler temperatures Monday as a storm front makes its way across the northern part of the state. It should move out by late afternoon, bringing a spot of sunshine with highs in the upper 50s. We dry out Tuesday and Wednesday with temps in the mid-60s. Overnight lows will be in the 30s and 40s. Next chance for wet weather is toward the end of the week. That's it for now. For more news across the nation and around the world, go to GephartDaily.com 24/7. For now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thanks, Daisy. There's the alligator in the pool,
That was a big freaking alligator.
and this is how my mind works. It's like, okay, there's no light in the pool, okay, and then you're like, hey, let's go skinny dipping, and you both run down and the towels fly and you just dive into that water, and at one point you go, oh, your skin's a little rougher than I remember, and then you're dead.
Yeah, the dead part. Yeah, that was a big freaking alligator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Fink and McGregor, shall we? I had a friend who was getting out of a bad marriage, and she actually found a house she could afford. She was excited. The kids, she would do well. And then she found out there had been a lot of credit problems, so she had a credit score of only 600. And she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, no, you go to Fink and McGregor. Jeff Stout, who is neither Fink nor McGregor, but it is his company, has all these different options, and he's really, really good at this. Do you know there's like a USDA mortgage for farmers?
Which is like you get marks on your steaks.
Yeah, how freaking,
FDA, right? Yeah.
How freaking random is that?
That's
But he
awesome.
knows them all because this is what he does. And unlike the bank, he does not charge you thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars to do it. And he doesn't make you wait in limbo for weeks and weeks and weeks. Usually,
4 minutes.
Yeah. Within 4 minutes, you get a bunch of mortgage options if you go to fink-mcgregor.com, and then someone can call you back within the next business day and answer any questions.
No need to feel ashamed. The credit rating of 600 has always been a goal of ours. So feel free. This is the funniest story. Back when the interweb started and domain names were up for grabs, and back then I forget what they were. Were they $30 or $15?
Oh, they still are.
And everyone just went
for a
crazy. It's like IBM. It's like all the people tried to get ahead.
Enterprising guy who picked up whitehouse.com, and they
Right.
actually had to pay him a really substantial sum.
And they started taking people to court. But, I mean, think about it. If you weren't like, one of these huge things that has a lot of lawyers and people like that, and you have a good-sized business, people are going and buying your name. We actually know of, there's 2 florists in town. And we worked with one of their sons. And he was sitting perched, waiting for the other person's domain name to expire, and as soon as it did, he bought it. Holy! The Bush campaign also.
Same problem,
they
yeah.
lost their domain name, and so they went to court and they said you can't just sit on the site. And it was like, well, yeah, kind of can't.
And they did have some things about predatory practices, but this teenager,
He was cool.
he just loves cruising. He likes going on cruises. He's been on 4. He loves Carnival Cruise Line. It's like his favorite. So
And that's
on
his handle.
On
The
Snapchat, his handle is Carnival Cruise.
Okay,
Which
so
is only thing wrong with that is
brand new boat, big boat. He's been on 4 cruises. They suddenly realized this. They contact him on Snapchat.
hey, so we were wondering.
And he's like 16. And they're like, dude, wouldn't it be gnarly if you gave us our name back? So I'm not sure how much he fought with it. He didn't say yes right away.
Here's the funny thing, though. They really weren't taking him seriously because they said, we'll give you a free cruise.
They
And you're
offered
like,
him
"Oh,
a free
kidding."
cruise.
Here's what they ended up doing, though, and it was pretty slick. Shaquille O'Neal is their new spokesperson. It's
This
go
was
for fun.
This was part of the leverage to get him to say yes.
They parked a big truck in front of his house that had a gigantic picture of Shaquille O'Neal, and he said, come cruise with me.
Because he's the spokesperson for Carnival Cruise Lines now.
So the kid he gets to go on the inaugural cruise, hang out with Shaquille O'Neal, get pretty much anything he wanted, and for that he went, yeah, here, take it back. And I'm like, dude, hold up for the money! But
I
no.
would take the cash.
But he didn't. He said, yeah, that'll be great. Took his family, had a great time, hung out with Shaquille O'Neal.
He's a better person than I, and he's only 16.
God bless him.
That's because the world hasn't beaten him down and made him bitter, like her and me.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
I don't know. Shush.
No, see, the only trouble isn't that even that we're beaten down and bitter. It's just that I operate entirely on spite. So
Right.
it's like if it's just that alone, I would have insisted on holding out. But all right, coming up next.
While you're talking, my blood is slowing down from the cholesterol from the eggs yesterday. I took
you had a
I
lot.
took 4 Lipitor last night.
I don't know how you can like boil it. Hard-boiled eggs, and the worst part about it is when they're in your fridge and you open your fridge door, it smells like a foot. I mean, it's never
sulfur.
smells good.
There's a sulfur smell.
Yeah.
And we're going to show you a failed video I made about something that I've done in the past and disgusted you, and that's why I wanted
There's
to
so
show.
many things that disgust me from you, so it really, this could
Oh,
open
this
up.
one I could make a video of. And I'll show you what you can do with them, not like she would tell you.
Oh, God.
I would tell you, so that's coming up at the end of the show.
The Todd and Erin morning stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
Welcome back, Todd and Erin, noontime thing, 1,600 hours.
Yeah,
Is that 1,600 hours? Military, I'm not sure. What's going on the road home?
No, it's 1,200 hours. 1,600
1,200
hours would be
hours.
4 o'clock.
Road
This
home.
is very disappointing.
Because we worked with them for many years.
Yeah, the Road Home, we used to do fundraisers with them constantly. And one of the things that you get to do is you get to know them very well. You get to know Camille and all of the people there, and you get to know the staff, and you start talking to the residents and the guests.
And some of the volunteers, and then you suddenly realize that the average stay at the road home is 4 days.
And the reason why is because they can then plug these families and these people into services and housing and getting them off the streets. And for a long time,
4 days.
We were known nationwide for literally having cured chronic homelessness. They had created an incredible model for this.
And then the last 3 years, the dam broke. And you notice the population change if you've been down in the city, in Salt Lake City. It came out of nowhere.
And it was, they've done a lot of work now, but it was unfair because all the drug dealers, flooded the area because they're scum, and they were preying on the weakest of society. And people started going, well, it's, the whole thing is a nightmare, and those homeless are, and it's like, no, it was.
So they did the operation
their
where
fault.
they thinned out and they found out who the criminals were, and they got rid of them, and then they made the other people feel safer so they could go get services and proceed with the process of getting back on their feet.
Now, one of the problems was not this last December, but the December before, when they do their biggest fundraiser, where they really depend on this money to operate the road home. Jackie Biskepsky, the mayor of Salt Lake City, in her infinite wisdom, held a press conference that day saying, we're going to open 3 new homeless shelters. And yeah, we're going to do that without having ever mentioned it to the road home people.
And our mayor has done some really good things.
Sure.
This wasn't one of them.
And so essentially it decimated the fundraising because people started going,
Right.
oh yeah, that's going to close, so that doesn't matter. It's like, no, they're still renting because
Right.
there's still homeless people.
So you got 3 new places opening, which is great news. And they're going to be, I would assume they're going to be really well maintained.
It's being run by a nonprofit, I guess, which then has the umbrella of the Salt Lake County and Salt Lake City over it. It's called Shelter the Homeless. And they're seeking bids now on who's going to operate the shelters when they open next summer. But here's the thing that really ticked me off. Just because we've known these people for so long at the road home, they said, I would never want a road home person to manage any of these shelters. They would be the last people I would ever choose. The drug problem was all their fault. Are you kidding me?
You know what this is called? This is called like a city having a problem. And as opposed to going to other cities that had comparable problems around the United States, and which deals were successful, and you say, we'll do that. We'll take that part of it, and we'll learn some other stuff, and we put it all together, and we use people who have done this before, as opposed to what you just heard.
I find that just absolutely amazing because they're still operating the family center in Midvale where the
Right.
women and children go.
Right.
And Howell Provost said, well, they haven't been held accountable for their impact on the surrounding community. You mean all of the homeless people that nobody wanted
There
to
was
help?
a floodgate put on these people.
And they said it's not a criticism, it's just the way they ran their
No,
model.
that's a criticism.
No, that's actually a criticism.
They have done such a great job for so many years, and like I said, inundated. They were inundated. They were shaking their heads, going, "Okay, we need the city's help. We need the police. We need all these different things," and it actually has worked out well. But why you would reinvent the wheel as opposed to looking at other people's designs? Okay, I'll get off the stop.
But the sad part is there's a few homeless experts like Bill Tibbetts, who's the director of the Crossroads Urban Center, who said there's nobody who knows how to run a homeless shelter better than the people who have been doing it for decades.
And we're just talking about getting them to the services, checking them in. Where do they sleep? Here you taking volunteers in, cooking meals. All the basic groundwork has already been done.
Well, and the sad part is this. They were so gracious about it. Matt, who, of course, is the executive director from the Road Home, said, you know what? I want to respect their process.
Yeah.
It would be bad form for me to comment. And I'm like, no, I actually would have had a lot
Erin
to say.
did that for you. You're okay, bud.
Which is why maybe Todd and I were so heated about it. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with these 3 shelters. And obviously, we all want this to be a fantastic plan that works beautifully and helps so many people who are the most desperate. But for me, having that kind of seasoned experience just go to crap is very, very discouraging. So it'll
I
be
would like
interesting
to
see what
lighten the
happens.
mood at this point.
Please do.
Chichester. No, it's what in England?
Chichester.
Chichester. Sounds like a fine cheese. Fairly
Chichester.
sharp and orange. They put out a plea to the residents of that area, and they
The
said,
residents
please,
of Chichester,
the
Chichesterians.
Chichesterians.
Yeah.
Yes. And they said, hey, just a small request. We're taking care of your water. We're the plumbing stuff, the poo, and we could just ask you one little favor. Don't flush your piranhas down the toilet.
Was this that? Oh, that's a piranha.
Workers were down in the sewer,
That is one.
and there comes a piranha. The kind that clear the meat off bones and smear seconds.
Seconds, yeah. Those.
So the workers are down there, and they went, hey.
Apparently, rubber boots can get bit right through.
Yeah,
the
right,
super quick.
right.
Who knew?
So, and they just talked about how many different animals they have seen. They've seen snakes. They've seen all kinds of fish in the sewer. So stop it. So they gave a list of 4 things that can go down your toilet.
Poo, not piranhas. It's kind of.
Oh, it's a bumper sticker.
It is kind of like a catchy ad campaign.
Poo, not piranhas.
For you Chichesterians.
Good job.
Okay, I feel violated, and I don't even know who to report this to, but
It's probably my fault.
No, funeral potatoes. Funeral potatoes. Let's just point this out. This is a Utah thing.
I never heard of it until I came here.
We own funeral potatoes.
We
We're the
really
ones
do.
that made them. It's the wonderful creamy potato, cheesy casserole dish with a crunchy coating on top, and it's
Right.
glorious, and it's ours. Well, it's spread a bit through the Midwest, and I'm okay with that. You can share our funeral potatoes, but apparently, Augustin Farms has now introduced a pre-packaged kit with all the ingredients.
Who has?
It's Augustin Farms.
Who are they?
And they are marketing our funeral potatoes now for their own financial gain.
Do we know where
And they're basically, and if you take a look at all their Facebook ads, there's no reference to Utah and thank you for Utahns for coming up with this delicious dish. It's more like, we here at Augustin Farms
have created this new thing?
fabulous. And it's like, no, you didn't.
I moved.
I mean, excuse me.
I moved here in like '85. Somebody said, "Oh, funeral potatoes." I was like, "What?" And they said funeral potatoes. And I was
delicious.
like, "Does there have to be a funeral? Someone has to die to eat potatoes? Is this how it works?" They said, "No, but maybe." And then I said, "Why did they get that?" Because everyone brings them. Everyone brings them, and you go to a big function, and there's like 6 different pans of it,
Yes, there is.
and it's almost calorie free. I understand.
Yeah, and my fancy Nancy sister and brother-in-law actually brought funeral potatoes yesterday for Easter dinner, except
They
for
were
they
good.
used Gruyere cheese
Gruyere.
and kale, which I
From
felt was a mistake.
Dioria.
But the people at Augustin Farms have a lot to answer to.
They really do.
You can't take our funeral potatoes and
just-
pretend they're your own. What's next? The Jello salad?
Yeah.
Are you going to say you invented the Jello salad now?
Yeah. What? No. Yeah.
Look, we may not be known for much gourmet wise, but our funeral potatoes are a thing.
I'm still
They're
thinking.
they're a thing, and they're ours. And you should at least owe the respect, the proper due, and go, Utah, these are yours.
This is like our poutine from Canada,
Yes, right?
right?
Yeah.
This is
like us putting in a
Philly chicks-
poutine kit and saying this, we made
yeah,
it.
right. Philadelphia steak deal.
Oh, Philly steak sandwiches, yes.
That's theirs. We have,
Funeral potatoes.
which is almost as good.
Nothing's better than funeral potatoes.
I was in the kitchen yesterday. I had such high hopes because, and I will finish this, and you'll see what happened to me. But I had such high hopes, and I had all the stuff out, and the kids were out of the house, so I could do it and tape it really quick when it was quiet and everything. Just the dog walking around going, "Oh, there he is again." I was foiled. So we will say goodbye now and say have yourselves a great day, and we will see you tomorrow at noon right here at GetPartDaily.com. And here I met my demise. We'll see you later. Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. Yes, this is recorded. Never mind. Todd here. Welcome to another edition of Hey, what are you doing in my kitchen? Easter. What do you have? Boiled eggs. What are you going to do with them? Die of cholesterol poisoning. But there's a better way to stretch it out so you don't eat all of them at once or have to, and that is basically pickling them. Of course I'll peel them. Pickling them and pickling them with beets, just to disgust your wife. This is really simple. Let's get started. I need to peel the eggs. I have to tell you, the egg peeling is not going well. That's what I'm ending up with. I did not cook these eggs, by the way. The secret to egg cooking, as far as I'm concerned, and this is a great way to start a fight with your family, is basically what you do is put a bunch of eggs in the bottom of a pan, cover them with 2 inches of water, bring it to a boil. Let it boil for 3 minutes. Dang you, eggs! Boils for 3 minutes, you push it off, cover it, push it off the heat. Let it sit for 12 to 14 minutes, depending on how hard you want the yolks. And that's it. And they also peel a lot easier than this. This is just, these are going to be so ugly. Ugh. Why do you vex me so? What? I'll be back. Look at that. This is going horribly wrong. I did see something on the internet though. Have you seen this one? You put the egg in here. You cover the end. Oh, by the way, this is my Elvis cup. Erin and I got remarried and redid our vows at Burning Man every year. Elvis will help me. All right, Elvis, do your magic, and you're supposed to do this. And on the internet, they come out totally bare. Crap! Ah! Okay, I'm not a perfectionist by any definition, all right? But the fact is, you're going to put these into a glass jar. What's going to happen is the beet juice and the beets are going to intertwine in there. And you know what? It's hard enough to get people to eat this anyway, but now when they look like, hey, try something new. So you know what? Forget it. I'm done. I'll do this another time. I didn't boil my own eggs. That is my fault. I'm just going to go pout for a while. We'll do this later.